What is up, YouTube? Uncle Mike in the Philippines. Chopper expose everyone. What's up, Chopper? Chopper exposing everyone, man. I don't know who Chopper is. And speaking of a chopper, my boo-boo is giving me burnt pancakes, y'all, for breakfast. Shh, don't say it to her. No, don't say it. She said sorry. She done burnt the food. Should I throw it back at her? Y'all? Burnt pancakes. Anyway, hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I'm gonna set the plate over there, man. Looking for the headphones, man. I'm all confused. She took me on a walk and I'm hot. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I got the fan going in the background. Let's check this bad boy. Yeah, the Art of Dialogue. Shout out to them, baby.
Chopper, happy to have you back, my man. What's popping with you, man?
What's out? Beautiful things, bro. Working on the Nobody Kills project at the moment. Third time's a charm with me on here. So it's a blessing, you heard me, to be on here. And the people, supply and demand. The people is demanding it and it's all gravy. And I appreciate the people. And I'm here. I'm honored to be here. For hip hop, for the culture, you heard me? It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. How the feedback been on your end, man?
It's been excellent. 1 out of 10, 10. A lot of calls, a lot of people hitting me up. I'm a different type of guy, so I don't just accept everything, but it's an honor to just have people coming at me. And I appreciate this platform, to give me the outlet to be able to speak my truth. So I would happily and gracefully say that, the feedback has been excellent. Much love to the fans and the people that are new fans and new people that came into my life that, appreciate, honesty. That's what's out. How about you, brother? How about, what's out with you? How's the feedback on your end?
Oh, man. I mean, the feedback been incredible on my end, man. I mean, everybody I spoke to enjoyed the last 2 interviews we did. But I got a lot to talk to you about, man. It's a lot that happened since we did the last interview.
Okay, what's out? Talk to me. What you say?
Sarah, how you feel about that lawsuit she fought against Puffy?
Sarah is Sarahing, if that makes any sense.
Let's go.
It was coming. I felt like, you heard me. Sarah, I felt like I was sabotaging her for her getting the suit. Now, on one behalf, Mighty Brad, I feel like she's right on the terms of, Diddy making us sleep in the same bed together. The things that Diddy was making us do, I don't think a female was, supposed to be in that situation. That I do believe and that I do feel. And you know me, bruh, I'm not biased. I'm unbiased to bull crap. You heard me? I just believe that on one part she's right. On another part, she's trying to money grab. And I felt like Sarah's doing exactly what everybody else feel like. We got done dirty. We didn't get our just due. We didn't get what we deserved from the hard work and the hazing that he has put us through.
Facts.
To just save all of us. I feel like we didn't get our just due. And luckily and fortunately, I'm a hustler. So I have no. You heard me. I have no bitterness towards it. Because it was school to me and I was young. So I didn't really look at it like it was actually like the realest thing that was happening, because it was only real when, I made the band. But once that happened, you dig, it felt like every day of normalcy. I got so used to the cameras. Well, sorry about that. You heard me. We got so used to the cameras that it became normal. So we really quite didn't realize how much of history we were making. Yet and still how much of trauma we was going through as well. That makes sense. So it's a bittersweet situation with Sarah. And then, from the interview that I did last time, you dig, some people felt like I was putting Sarah on blast and it wasn't my business to put her business out there with Fred. And I thought long and hard on it. And I said to myself, maybe they right. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to please people's opinions. I'm here to speak my truth. And I kept it real for the culture. At the end of the day, I'm unbiased to everything I'm talking about. I kept it real. I even put myself out there. You heard me? That's how unbiased I am. So, but I couldn't let Sarah lay back there, get on the documentaries and speak false about Diddy, because that's not what happened. And that's just the real. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, if you don't want the real, you heard me, don't be around me. You dig? Whatever you say, you heard me, to my face, or whatever you do, be able to take it on every outlet as well. Be 100 about everything that you do. You know, maybe it wasn't my business to put it out there, but at the end of the day, you know, it was my business. Period. Period. It was and it wasn't. You did take it how you
Right,
want.
right,
Believe that. That's
right,
how I felt about
right.
that.
You was part of that thing, so you
Well,
talked
Sarah,
about that thing.
Sarah have a new husband, and I guess dude felt like, putting it in the ear of, you should get compensated from not actually succeeding from that situation. And like I say, I feel like it's a bittersweet situation. Is because I don't think Diddy owe us anything, yet he owe us what we worked hard for. So, Sarah doing whatever she do, I think it's a bittersweet situation of whatever she's doing. I don't think 100%, that it's coming from a malice situation, yet it's coming from a malice situation. It's kind of like a take it how you want to outcome, if that makes sense, bruh. It's a take it how you want to outcome. Because she's doing it maliciously, and then she's actually doing it because that's exactly what happened as well. Period.
So you personally, you feel like it's a money grab?
It is a money grab. Definitely. It's definitely a money grab. And I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like, I feel like Sarah should have been did that. If the man assaulted you, sexually assaulted you, sexually harassed you like you said he did, why didn't you been do it? If you did, you could have been the first one. It didn't have to be Cassie taking the initiative to start it. If he sexually harassed you, you should have been the first one. And the show has been 20 years ago. It should be no reason in the world, you heard me, that you ain't been the first person to put it out there. Because honestly, I felt like that would have been a better outcome for you than trying to do it now. If that makes sense, bruh?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So how you feel about her
Yeah.
sending out cease and desist? She sent me one, you one. How you feel about that, man?
Oh, when it comes to us. I say, bruh, I didn't care. It's because at the end of the day, you got to have proof. And you got to go to court. You heard me? And I knew in my mind that Sarah was going to lose that case, because at the end of the day, I was keeping it real. And then Fred doubled back. And Fred, basically, he didn't want to say it, but, he had to say it because it was the truth. Sarah tried to put the cease and desist out there to make it seem like I was lying, but I wasn't lying. I was keeping it real. And you dig, Fred confirmed it, did he not? So, and I look at the comments. I love the comments. I love the people's opinion. You heard me? And I heard them say, "Oh, this can't be real," but it is real. You dig? Everything I say on here is 100%, and that's why I love this platform. Is because you bring people on here, and people be brutally honest, and I'm one of those people. So I guess the people respect honesty. So I didn't feel no way about the cease and desist. How did you feel about the cease and desist? Damn, that's crazy, huh? How you feel about it, bruh?
Nah, I ain't feel no way about it. I mean, me personally, it was laughable. But I mean, whatever route they want to go, we can go. I mean, I'm good financially. So, hey, we can do whatever. I mean, it ain't going to end well for them, but hey, it's whatever.
Right. I got a question for you.
I said it ain't gonna end well for them. Side note, y'all gotta realize that just because you're suing somebody, that don't mean you're gonna win. Just because you filed papers to say a cease and desist, right? Oh man. 1, 2. I don't even know if y'all can hear me. Wait a minute. Just because you filed the papers, that don't mean that you have to stop cease and desist. It's just that you filed the papers saying, I want this person to stop. And if they don't stop, you got to go to court. Still got to go to court on it. I filed a paper saying cease and desist. That means I got to stop. No, you can still go to court and put your 2 cents in. Y'all don't know this stuff? Oh, they send you a cease and desist. And that don't mean I got to cease and desist. That's what people don't realize. And that's what they talking about. Here we go.
I know we're gonna continue, but this is a question I wanted to ask you on the third time.
I know we're going to continue. I know we're going to continue. All you got to do is just start thinking. Just because somebody filed some papers on you, that don't mean you're guilty. That don't mean you got to stop. That don't mean none of that stuff.
Hey, it's whatever.
It's whatever.
I got a question for you. I know we're gonna continue, but this is a question I wanted to ask you on the third time as a charm. When I said what I said, about the Sarah situation, did it sound like I was Jaguar writing? Did it sound like I was exaggerating it? Or did it sound like I was keeping it real? From what you thought at the moment towards when it finally happened, towards you knew I was keeping it real.
Nah, it sounded like you was keeping it real.
Thank you, because I was.
Paul, now I'm going to tell on you. Sorry, guy. Hey, guys, I had to throw my weight around. Wifey done closed the door and changed everything. Hey, what are you doing? This better. Says who? I know what's better. Nah. You got to notice I say all that when she gone, right? Here we go.
Yeah. Shout out to Sarah, though.
But speaking of Sarah, right, before we get off of her, and you already know I get a whole lot of emails and DMs from people giving me information. So, I want to ask you and see if you know. I heard she was messing around with Kobe.
Who told you that?
Hey, somebody emailed me that. Somebody told me the next time I interview you, ask you about that.
I would 100% say
crazy.
that was actual factual. Rest in peace to the greatest of all time. You heard me? And I don't want to say anything to disrespect his family, but I got to keep it real. Yeah, she had a little rapport with Kobe too. Yeah, for sure. I ain't gonna cap about that. You did, but I don't really know the story with Sarah and Kobe of like seeing them encountering, leaving with each other. But I know for sure that Sarah has spoke on dealing with Kobe Bryant, 100%. And I know the people gonna be like, oh, he talking about the Mamba, you heard me? But look, I'm Chopper City. Chopper City gonna keep it real, and that's facts because it came out of her mouth. Big old facts. Sarah definitely spoke on having a situationship with Kobe Bryant. But rest in peace to the best. You did. Sarah crazy, huh, bro? Promiscuous girl.
Wow.
I can't take it.
That's crazy.
She get around. Tupac.
Right. If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to share it. But people in the comments going to ask. But what exactly did she say in regards to that, or you don't want to share it? It's all good.
She no, it's all grave. She said basically, she said she was in LA. It was during the band era. She said she was in LA and I mean, we seen Kobe in the club, of course, right? But this was like weeks later. She was like, yeah, Kobe hollered at me, and she said she went and seen him. That's all she said. She said he hollered at her, they exchanged numbers, and she went and seen him. She ain't go no further with it though. She totally different. She totally didn't go no further. She just said she seen Kobe, they exchanged numbers, and she went and kicked it with him. That's all she said. So I heard her say that out of her mouth, 100%. So I don't know. Sarah was just taking. She wasn't turning nothing down but a collar. I don't even think she wanted to turn that down. Sarah was cutting up. You want to know who the real rock star? I thought it was me. You heard me? It was Sarah. Sarah was worse than Chop out this bitch. You did? Yeah, Sarah was a fucking rock star. You heard me? But shout out to Sarah though. She was fucking.
Which one is Sarah? I need to find out because she. Basically, what he's saying is she did everything she could to get to the top. She would sleep her way to the top, basically. I don't know, man. Which one is Sarah? Is that one of the ones that was in the group? Because there was two girls in the group with Puffy. So is she one of the girls that was in the group, maybe?
Get with it. You did. Sarah crazy. Yo, Sarah was crazy.
Gotta ask you, how you feel about Big Mom passing away?
Oh, that was sad. To see that she never quite, got the justice that she deserved on who actually killed her son. I bet that was heartbreaking to her. I feel like, I feel like I know Diddy ain't really do nothing to help the situation either, because she never really quite got the money she deserved from Biggie's estate. And I don't know, bro. I just feel like Diddy just did everybody dirty, including Biggie Mama. And
Damn, you hear
rest in
that?
peace to Miss Wallace. And I feel like she passed with a broken heart. Well, she transitioned with a broken heart by not knowing that her baby boy, not knowing who her baby boy killer was. I know that's heartbreaking, and that's how I feel about it. I feel like she was heartbroken. And rest in peace to Miss Wallace. And it's just another icing on the cake of why Diddy is getting this karma right now. Truthfully, another icing on the cake. Rest in peace to Miss Wallace.
I know a lot of people that feel that same way, but why do you feel like Diddy did her wrong?
Because contract wise, I know this for sure from the insight at Bad Boy. I know one thing that Biggie tried to do. And mind you, Biggie was way before me. When he passed, I was like 11. But being at Bad Boy for the time I was there, rumors used to go around. Of course, people who had they likes and don't likes about Diddy, working with Diddy. And I used to hear rumors of within the contract of Biggie wanting to go solo, that Diddy didn't like it. Diddy didn't like that Biggie wanted to have his own label and do his own thing. I think Biggie felt like he had his run with Diddy and he wanted to do his own thing. And this is facts, from what I heard. I heard that he did the contract of being released from the last album. And when the LA situation happened, to just my opinion, I heard that it was all kind of like a setup. Truthfully, I heard it was a setup. I heard that, that's just, I'm keeping it real. These are things that I heard. I heard that, he had lack of security. Number one, he had lack of security. The security that Biggie was, he normally had with him, they wasn't there. I don't know, bro. It just felt like it was a setup. But I know one thing: within the contract of the release, once Biggie passed, Diddy recounted the contract and got all his royalties. And publishing and everything. Diddy got all of it once he died. Diddy. And gave his mama a little bit of nothing. That is facts. That is what I heard. And that is facts.
Wow.
Big old facts. Look,
wow, that's
Diddy's
crazy.
in a situation right now, and I just don't think that things just happen to you. It happens for you. Why is everything crashing down on Diddy? It's a reason why. It's because you're just a dirty fucking person. Not just dirty, you're selfish. You only look out for you and yours, and it's every last one of us and our family, but it's all gravy with you and yours. So that's why when the justice situation and all that, he even responded, oh, Chop, man, look, little daddy, you was a little baby. You really don't know what's down with the history of what your daddy quite done, honestly. But that's your paw. So you're gonna take up for your family. You're gonna take up for your.
I'm sorry, guys. The Philippine family is asking me questions, so got to take a pause sometimes. Here we
what
go.
your daddy quite done,
Right,
honestly. But that's your paw. So you're gonna take up for your family. You're gonna take up for your daddy. I get that. But Diddy did a lot of us dirty. Even his main money guy, which was Biggie. You dig? And he definitely switched up the contract when Biggie died. And these are facts. You can look it up. And what I'm saying right now, I'm not throwing Diddy under the bus. You dig? I might have it running over a leg or two, but things that I'm saying is public record. It's already out there. So all I'm doing is keeping it real. You dig? Because I was there. And I experienced these things that was said, things that I've heard, So on this art of dialogue right here, everything I'm saying, is actual factual, coming from me, you dig? And I'm not I'm unbiased, but that is definitely what I heard about the Biggie situation. That Diddy wanted to get out of the contract. Right after that, the LA situation happened. Biggie dies. Within him dying, Diddy G-mixed the contract and made everything come to him from that last album that he had. Yep, big old facts. Big old facts. I mean, what you heard? Maybe I don't know no better. But if is what I'm saying similar to what you heard? Yes or no?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that's crazy.
Sometimes, so
Real,
Miss Wallace died of a broken heart, and she also died with feeling a way about Diddy. Period. And that's how I feel. She
said that. She said that she kind of want to slap him or something. She said something about putting hands on Diddy. I know that for a fact.
She passed broken hearted, shattered hearted. Period. And if I was, God rest her soul, but if I was his mom, I would have felt the same way, because Biggie devoted himself to Bad Boy, and Biggie loved Diddy, and Diddy still did him dirty. So I guess we all as artists, being under Bad Boy should have knew that was coming if he did that to, the money man, which is Biggie. Rest in peace. Just my opinion, which is facts.
Do you believe Puffy played a part in Big's murder?
No. And the reason why is because it's not really about what you know, Mighty Bruh. It's about what you can prove. And I don't think no one has the proof that Diddy has an involvement with Biggie's murder. Now, you can have your stipulation-wise. Diddy's just a shiesty dude and he's selfish, so I wouldn't put it past him, but I will say, I believe that Diddy loved Biggie, like a brother. And he might have swithered him when he passed, but I don't think Diddy's intentions was to 100% mess over Biggie. I don't. But I do believe that if he could have got more out of the deal, he could have. But I don't think he liked it when Biggie wanted to get out of the deal. I don't think he liked it that. Just my opinion. So I'm going to say I don't think so. But I think, stipulation-wise, it's questionable. Period.
Have you ever kicked it with Diddy in Miami?
Yes. I kicked it with Diddy on Star Island for sure. One time, I kicked it with Diddy, and this one, you heard me, they was trying to bring me back on Bad Boy. He brought me to Star Island, and he let me see the house, and I'm walking through the house, and he went from showing me the house to me just, it's so paused. The house was so big, I just started walking around myself. I was amazed. When I'm walking, you heard me, I walk into this room. You heard me, I walk into this room and I've seen all types of, what'd you call it? Dominatrix looking shit. Dildos and sex toys and all types of weird shit. That was in my head. Like, to be honest with you, at this time, I was green, so I wasn't thinking it was like Diddy's room. I thought it was more like Diddy be like bringing girls over and just doing all types of crazy shit. But knowing what I know now, that nigga's a fucking freak. I've been to his house in Star and I've seen dildos, sex toys, and all types of weird shit in there. Definitely. But
that's facts.
I wasn't supposed to just be wandering around there anyway, so I'm not gonna blame that on Diddy. I'm gonna blame that on myself. You heard me? Because I ain't belong just exploring around there. You dig? So what you see if you're not invited to walk in a place where ain't nobody asked you to walk into. But I definitely seen sex toys and all types of whips and dominatrix and baby Earl and all that type of shit. Definitely, 100%. Definitely. That plagued my mind a little bit. That was one of the first things that I seen that kind of got me like, red flag. Truthfully, you heard me? But yeah, I definitely seen that. 100%. Yeah.
Wow. And you thought it was a red flag when you seen all that?
I did. I thought it was a red flag because I seen dildos. You did? When I seen dildos, like, pause, big dicks and shit. I don't know, bro. Yeah, I thought it was a red flag, but I thought in my mind, I thought that it was just like a room where Diddy be like fucking holes at. I thought he was just like that much of a superstar, that much of a rock star that, you know, you can have a room towards you just do all types of crazy shit to women. And you get older and then you know, you find out that it was way more than what you thought it was. Diabolical.
Right.
Freak.
That's crazy.
Wow,
Man.
that's
Definitely crazy.
Yeah, that
Facts,
is crazy.
though. All facts. Facts. And mind you, I didn't look at it at that point like, you know, looking at Diddy like he's just this old UFO freakazoid. I just looked at it like that's, you know, he just got a room where he holes at. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I didn't belong like walking around all them places because no one invited me to do all that. I just wanted to see it myself. And so when I seen it, I was like, oh, I'm not going to cap. I said, oh, and I walked in the room. You know what I mean? I just looked around. I was like, oh, this look crazy. And I walked out and went and mind my business. So yeah, that was my Star Island moment with him for sure. Never seen that room again, honestly. Never seen that room again. Big old facts.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I remember Cameron said in the interview before that Mace, he brought him over Puffy House and he seen a dildo in his sink.
For real?
That's the same thing. Which guy
I ain't heard of that one. Pause. Now you know I ain't lying. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it G.
Wow.
You heard me? I'm keeping it G. So that's what I seen.
Big
I seen
Gene said the same
dildos.
thing.
You know, like girls be having like the little small dildos. Them pause. Them bitches was huge. You did. This was big as a motherfucker. Man, Digos, you heard me? Yeah. Big old facts. Them motherfuckers was big.
Damn. It's hard for
Big facts though. You heard me? Facts, bro.
It's hard for a man. It's hard for a man to say that. Yeah, it's real hard for a man to say that, but it's facts. He just spitting facts, cuz.
Yeah. Red flag.
You personally, you think he was using them toys on females or he was indulging in it?
Heavens no. I definitely know Diddy was indulging with that. I just don't know who he was indulging in that with. You did? That's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't know. I don't think it was just females though. Knowing what I know now. It was definitely Diddy's thing. I tell you that. Yeah. Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to him. Knowing what I know now, yeah, Diddy was cutting up. He was definitely cutting up. He's a different type of brother. I'll tell you that. He's a different brother. Yeah.
I remember in the last interview we did, you was telling me how you went to some of the freak-offs. Was they offering you drugs?
There was a lot of drugs around. I mean, like going to the freak off, I remember, and mind you, people call it the freak offs. I just call it VIP parties. You dig? I think the freak off talk is just a bigger, they're trying to chump up a word to make Diddy look like a monster. From what I experienced, I wouldn't call it a freak off. I would just call it an elite VIP party. But one time, you heard me, drug wise on topic. One time I'm riding with him and the security and probably like two girls, you heard me. And he whipped out a bag of powder and tooted that bitch up and like try to reach back and like pass the powder, pass it to me. And I looked at it, you know, I'm from the ghetto, you heard me? So I'm used to, you know, seeing junkies on drugs and you dig with that one drug song that you dig, and that traumatized me as a kid, you dig. So I always said to myself, you know, I won't ever do no drugs, especially no hard drugs, because I know the after effect of what that come with. But when he reached back and just was like, whoever wanted, and he was like, you want this chop? No, he called me City. He was like, you want this City? So I grabbed it, you dig, and I put my finger in it and I tasted it, and that tasted disgusting. So I was like, I would never put this in my nose. So I just passed it to the girls and they just started tooting up. And that was on our way going to one of the parties. Big old facts. So that was my only experience with Diddy with drugs, like firsthand. But besides that, you heard me, like in the parties, definitely just drugs everywhere, 100%. And it was up for grabs for anybody who wanted it. But that was my experience with Diddy with the drugs firsthand. Go on our way to one of those places. Yeah, facts. Did it? And mind you, I didn't really, you heard me? I didn't really like on making a band, when we was doing a band and the cameras was on, you heard me? It was none of that. Diddy was very professional. everything was just businessman, shrewd businessman. But when I signed the Bad Boy South and the cameras was off, then everything went like, it was like lions in the jungle for sure. It was like apes and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. That's when he just started letting himself go, letting himself loose. And that's when I realized it was two sides of Diddy. You have the entrepreneur Diddy, and then you have this animal. And I don't want to say animal as like this bad guy, but like this party animal towards like party like it's 1999 type guy. Like anything goes, and you only got YOLO type guy, you dig? So you realize being around him is two sides to him, and depending on if he's on business mode or if he's on party mode, it's the personality and characteristic that you get from him at that moment. So you just got to be on your game of knowing, his Jekyll and Hyde. If that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, big old facts though. That was my experience.
I heard y'all got an endorsement from that cheesecake situation. Is that true?
Actually, we did. Shout out to juniors, you hear me? Shout out to juniors, you hear me? Because for the rest of my life and our life, we can always go there and eat for the rest of our life. They gave Diddy a bag, but Diddy didn't give us the money. They actually did the deal with Diddy, but Diddy didn't give us $1. So he utilized us to get an endorsement with juniors, you hear me? And ain't give us $1. So yeah, we had an endorsement, but we never got nothing from the endorsement. Rape Records, huh?
Wow,
that's Diddy for you.
crazy.
Yes, we had an
man.
endorsement, you heard me, but we just never got compensated.
I'm trying to tell y'all, man, don't do bad. It's gonna come back and bite you. Don't do bad. Now check this out. Now how can you, all this stuff that's coming down the pipe on Diddy, how can you fight all this stuff when the world says you're negative? You are outcast now, man.
For the endorsement. Diddy did.
And y'all can get free food from there?
Yeah, we can get free food for the rest of our life there in Brooklyn. Juniors. You heard me? But we never was able to get compensated for the situation, for the Cheesecake Walk that they actually compensated Diddy and Bad Boy with, but we just never got nothing from it. Yep. F***ed up, ain't it, bruh?
Yeah, that ain't cool. They did y'all dirty, man.
Yeah, f***ed up that you got an endorsement, but you don't get money from the endorsement. And they got money for the endorsement, and we got nothing besides we can eat there for the rest of our life. Ain't that fucking cold? Ain't do nothing but sit us there like some golfers. I hated that shit. I really did. To this day, I still think about that. That's my only regret. You heard me on Making the Band is I wish I never walked for that cheesecake. But I was young, so I wasn't thinking like I'm finna go walk 4 hours there, 4 hours back. I wasn't thinking that way. I was just thinking we going down the street to get a cheesecake. But Lord have mercy, did we make history with that one? Then we mighty. I came back with blisters on my toes. I was hurt. Ooh, I was sick. We all was sick. Say, bro, we was so sick, and this was Sarah was talking about in a lawsuit. When we came back, he put us in a hotel together, and we all practically slept on the floor in the bed together. Women and men. So that part right there, Sarah was right about that, because that's exactly what he made us do. You heard me when we came back from the Cheesecake Walk. He made us all lay in we had a room with 2 beds, and the girls and the guys, we all was so tired, bro. We all just lay next to each other. That was, you heard me. That's also that was in Sarah's lawsuit that Diddy made us lay in beds together, and you know by law you're not supposed to do that with men and women. But he made it. We laid in the bed together. We were so tired. That wasn't the only time though. It was buku other times, and the hazing part of Making the Band that he made us lay in the beds together. Facts.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But to go back to the Junior situation, have you been there since then?
Yeah, I've been there before. They treated me like a rock star. You know, they did everything right. They got us like when you walk in Juniors, you heard me. Like our pictures is everywhere. So 100%, I went there. They treated me like a rock star. The utmost hospitality. I don't blame them. They did what they were supposed to do. I blame the bad boys. I don't even know if I say blame. I don't blame nobody for nothing. But I don't appreciate how Bad Boy went about that. Because juniors, you heard me, they had nothing to do with anything. They just did what they thought was best. And since we walked, over there and went through all that on MTV, they did the right thing by showing us the utmost respect, love, gratitude, and appreciation. It's just the Bad Boy situation that didn't compensate us for doing that.
Yeah,
even though they had the endorsement with them.
For their brand.
Yeah. So yes.
Facts.
To this day, for the rest of my life. All of us.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard that Orlando Brown, he used to be at your house in Vegas.
Shout out to Damone. Damone, you heard me? He was a good friend of mine from Los Angeles, California. He did Making the Band with us. He made it, he didn't make the band, but he made it to the house. So we went from hundreds of thousands of people to the house. Within the house, it was about 15 people. You heard me? Damone was one of those people from the West Coast. He was rest in peace to him. He was a fire spitter. You heard me? I feel like he should have made the band lyrically. But I was good friends with him, kept a rapport with him after making the band and all this here. I ended up moving to Vegas in like 2012. Courtesy, like after I got shot and recovered, I ended up moving to Vegas. Damone ended up moving to Vegas, and Damone was tight with Orlando Brown. Him and Damone was hustling and doing, not street hustling, but they was rap hustling, doing music together and everything. Damone was basically like Chop. Me and Orlando Brown, we in this hotel, these suites, and kind of running low on funds. He was like, can we come over there and can I talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, all right. I love Damone, you heard me? So he came over there with Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown, he's a different character, dog. He came over to the house. He was very respectful. He wouldn't stop fucking talking. He was very talented. He's definitely a UFO. He's definitely an alien. Very talented dude. He just, our chemistry just wasn't it. I looked at him damn near like I wanted to beat him up. But yet it's still, he make it towards, he make you laugh, and he start joking with you, ribbing you. He's a funny guy, but yeah, he make you want to beat him up at the same time. So I'm like, Damone, here, take this little money, go ahead and extend your rooms. I love you, nigga. I'm gonna see you, but I can't kick it with this nigga. But yet and still, he was a good, Orlando was a good dude, nice dude, humble dude, yet crazy and won't stop talking. And you can't tell him he ain't the shit. And I like that about him. I like his confidence, because he's really actually a talented fucking person. He just kind of talk himself out of things, you did? Because I would have had no problem, you heard me, letting them come live at the spot for a while, because I had a big ass house with buku rooms that was empty anyway, that was just laced up with bedroom sets and TVs everywhere. So I had no problem with them coming to live. It's just, I don't know, he didn't rub me the wrong way. I just couldn't get jiggy with him. But shout out to him.
Just talk too
even
much,
looking at him
all.
out here now, I'm definitely proud of him. And one thing about him, he stayed firm with who he was. And to me, it's two types of crazes. It's superstar crazy and it's just crazy. And I think Orlando Brown is a superstar that's fucking crazy. And shout out to him. But yeah, that he definitely came to the crib and he's definitely talented. He's just a Looney Tune. And rest in peace to Damone. Big old facts. Shout out to Orlando Brown. I want to make love to you. Huh?
What were some of the things he did that made you want to fight him?
Orlando Brown, I don't know. It ain't what he did. You heard me? It's how he did it. It ain't what he said, it's how he said it. And I'm not really the type of person that can really tolerate someone, just talking a certain way. You dig? And he have no filter. That's what it was. He had no filter. He just had no filter. And I just couldn't take him. I wanted to beat him up. And then the next second, He'd have me joked out. And the next second, I wanted to beat him up. And the next second, I'm laughing again. So that was too conflicting and confusing to me. So he had to get
Yeah.
That's all it was. Rest in peace to Damone and shout out to Orlando. But
I got a buddy of mine.
He was too confusing to me, Art. I ain't gonna lie to you. Too
like
confusing. But talented brother, for sure.
Why you call him a UFO?
Because he's an alien. He give me Kanye vibes, the non-Kanye vibes. You know, he do things to get a kick out of things, and some people play that, and some people don't. I'm not the type of person that kind of playing too much. He played too much, and I wasn't with that. You heard me? I didn't know him for him to play like how he was playing in my fucking house. Kicking his feet up on some old Charlie Murphy, Rick James, having his feet everywhere and doing all types of shit. Getting on my pool table and drawing the balls everywhere. And I wasn't with all that shit. Like, this is my house. What is you doing, little daddy? You heard me? So he was doing what he thought he was doing what he wanted to do in my house for the time he was there. And I kind of just wanted him to fuck out my house. But yet I still respected him and thought he was cool and talented. But I wanted him out my house. That's all it was. I couldn't get jiggy with him.
That's wild. I had no idea y'all knew each other, man. But speaking of houses, right?
Crazy,
I heard that
man.
2 Chainz, he used to let you stay at his house, right?
Oh, yeah. All right. So shout out to 2 Chainz, you heard me, is because I always had a rapport with him. And he wasn't 2 Chainz at this time. He was Titty Boy. So Titty Boy, who is 2 Chainz now, he took a liking to me. This before he ended up rocking with Wayne and doing everything with everybody else. But he always had like a liking to me. So every time I seen him, it was always love. And this was the first season of Making a Band. And he was just always cool, bruh. Him and LaFate, LaFate was a great friend of mine. The whole DTP, they always took a liking to me. And I could have honestly signed with Shaka Zulu and Ludacris with DTP. But Titty Boy was like the coolest guy to me. And at times, I'd be in the A, and I really ain't have money like that, to be honest with you. I just didn't make it a band, and I really didn't have money like that. I was just happy that people are recognizing me. So I'm kind of going everywhere, getting the drill of kind of being known. And sometimes I ain't have money, and I come out here with nothing, and he'll practically let me stay at his house. Not even that. He treated me like a little brother. He ain't let me just stay at his house. He used to give me gear, Jordans and clothes, and be like, nigga, go shine, go make it, nigga. You heard me? So shout out to Titty Boy, aka 2 Chainz, for always showing me love and hospitality in Atlanta, Georgia. And then, I started making things happen for myself on Making a Band, you dig, 2nd season, 3rd season, and all that there. And then I see him, and now I'm doing my thing because I'm getting a couple of dollars. But the love has always been the same with 2 Chainz, always. So shout out to 2 Chainz, Lil Fate, Ludacris, Shaka Zulu, and I'm proud of 2 Chainz from, branching out and doing his thing. But definitely used to stay at his crib. And shout out to his whole family too, because they the coolest people in the world. 100%. 100% A-Town. 100%. Shout out to 2 Chainz. Yeah. Facts.
You was cool with Pac-Man Jones too, right?
Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Pac-Man Jones, you heard me? Now, man, Pac-Man, we had a different story in life. Me and Pac-Man, we met totally different. Like, we click-clack automatically. Pac-Man was already like, you heard me, popping with the Titans, and I go to Pac-Man house and really rock with him. Like, we rock. And I just talked to Pac-Man like a couple of days ago too, FaceTime. That's a good friend of mine to this day. Now, Pac-Man remind me of me. Pac-Man was just a street dude that played football. That's just facts. But one time we had Pac-Man's party, but before we even got to the party, we was minding our business. We was having fun, and next thing you know, a car hit us. They didn't hit Pac-Man. Pac-Man was in front of us, and I think Pac-Man had the Lambo, but we was trailing Pac-Man in the back, and a car hit us. Bow! We flipped and turned probably about a good 4 times, right? And I injured my arm, and I'm such a soldier. And Pac-Man looking at me like, that ain't even though it really hurted and I was injured, the rest of the people that was in the truck with us, they got on the ambulance and all this here, and they went to the hospital. I'm the only person that was in that truck that was injured and everything and still went to his party like a fucking idiot when I should have went and got in the ambulance like the rest of the people and got some fucking money from it. But that's just the type of person he is. Pac-Man is just a good dude, a real dude, and he's highly misunderstood. But he don't give a f. And to this day, I'm happy that that Pac-Man is going a positive route because, he had this, just kind of like me. We had our woes and our troubles within our career that had nothing to do with our career because, we stand firm outside. And, I don't know, to this day, he's still my friend, but Pac-Man is the type of person who I have a certain limit of kicking it with him. And I'm going to get the fuck away from Pac-Man because Pac-Man, he's just a fucking fool. And so I'm happy that this nigga is doing his thing now and he a family man because the Pac-Man I knew, boy, the Pac-Man I knew, he was a fucking fool, especially in the era we was in here in the A. So shout out to Pac-Man. That's I don't know how you know that, but you heard me? That's facts. Man, Pac-Man is cool to this day. But yeah, I fucked my whole body up and still partied. And I should have went in the ambulance and got some fucking money, but I didn't. I was young and dumb. And yeah, shout out to Pac-Man though.
Yeah, and I heard you used to buy weed from Rick Ross.
Yeah, I mean, this before Ross was popping, before he came out with what's that song called? Whip It Real Hard. Whip It, what's Hustling? I'm still trying to get money in the streets at this time, and a lot of people sleep on Rick Ross. You heard me? But Rick Ross was really in the streets. You dig? And when I encountered Rick Ross, he was selling pounds of weed. So I used to get pounds of weed off Ross. And that was my first encounter with Ross. So a lot of people make it seem like he's this correctional officer and all this here and that. But everyone has they upbringing of how they done it. You dig? And I don't judge Rick Ross. And shout out to 50. And I got nothing to do with they thing. But, my encounter with Ross is, when he rap about what he say, a lot of people like, oh, he's a police, he a correctional officer. But my encounter with him, he was a street nigga, because I definitely was buying weed from him in Miami. 100%. Rest in peace and peanut. The facts. So shout out to Ross, because my encounter with him, he was a street nigga for sure. That did what he had to do. And next thing you know, I went from buying weed from him. I'm watching TV and I'm watching every day I'm hustling. I'm like, wow. Funny how life is, facts.
What happened between you and Keisha Cole? I know I had Freddie P on the platform, and shout out to Freddie P, man, my guy. And I know he spoke on it, but from your point of view, what happened?
All right. Well, the Keisha Cole situation went like this here. We was in Los Angeles, California. We just did a show. All of a sudden, and mind you, big respect to Keisha, you heard me? Always been solid, always been real from every rapport I had with her. But back then, at this time, we popping, you dig? And we had the limo from doing the show. And next thing you know, a female, you heard me, get inside the limousine. And she came over to me. And I'm like, what is you doing? You dig? I'm like, what is you doing? Move. But it wasn't disrespectful. I just didn't know who she was. So when I did that, Fred was kind of like, Chop, chill, stop, right? So I got to be honest. It wasn't, I don't know what transpired with them, but I know one thing. When she came to me, I kind of pushed her off. And she was being nice. And she was just like, I'm a singer. And, she said she was like Tupac's stepdaughter or something. So when she said, that's what it was. When she said that to me, I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, go ahead. Right? I didn't believe it. So I was like, go ahead. Why are you in the limo? We don't even know you. And Fred kind of, she went next to Fred and they started talking. I got outside the limo and I went and minded my business. And all I remember is her and Fred was talking. So I don't know what transpired or what happened, but I know that is the encounter we had. And then years later, you heard me? Keisha Cole started popping. And then I'm in LA with, I'm in the studio with Diddy and the Game is in there. It's Suge. No, I'm lying. It wasn't Diddy. That was the Suge Knight era. So nope, it was the Diddy era. It was Diddy, it was Keisha Cole, and it was Manny, her manager. And basically, she was kind of like stunting on me, to be all the way honest with you. She was like, yeah, you see me now. I'm like, salute. Like, you dig, it's all gravy. I see you, baby. And then her manager, Manny, he was just like, Chop, let me go ahead and manage you. And I was like, I don't know about that, bro. I said, I already got a manager. My manager, Jay Jackson. And then he was like, yeah, that's cool, but he can't do what I do. And then she looking like, yeah, he can't do what he do. So they was just kind of stunting on me a little bit. But that was my rapport to Keisha Cole, from meeting her from the limo and kind of brushing her off to seeing her years later. And she kind of like trying to rep and stunt on me. You dig? And I thought it was funny. But shout out to her, you dig, because, you know, she's a legend in the Bay, 100%. And her people cool too in the Bay. So that was my encounter. Now, I don't know what Fred said, but that is the truth of what happened. I don't know. I think he's, you know what? I think Keisha used to call him too. Keisha, that's what it was. I don't think Fred hit it, or if he hit it, I don't quite remember. In my mind, I don't remember. But what I do remember is Keisha used to call him a lot. And one time, like Fred, you heard me, when you tick him off, you heard me, and drive him enough, he'll start flipping out on you. Man, child, girl. That's just how he is. And she kept calling him back to back. And then I remember he got on the phone when he get dig and was like, I got a motherfucking girl. Stop calling my phone. And that was it for Keisha Cole. And that is facts. That's what happened. I used to witness that when Keisha used to call buku times. Facts. Wow, what you heard about it? What you heard about the Fred and Keisha Cole thing?
Nah, he was just saying they was cool. But she was saying that, you know, Keisha Cole, she was going around saying that she was Tupac's stepdaughter.
Yeah, I think when she got in the limo, she said that she was like Tupac's goddaughter or stepdaughter or something like that. That's facts. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what she said. And that kind of drew me off because she was a pretty girl. So in my mind, she wasn't Keisha Cole at this time. If she would have just came in a limo, you hear me? Because she was already a pretty girl. I would have knocked her down for sure. You hear me? But when she started talking about Tupac goddaughter and you hear me, stepdaughter, I just was like, oh, just leave. Because I'm like, you're too young. And I was too young. When Biggie died, I was like, I mean, not Biggie, when Tupac died, you heard me? I was like 10, 9, 10. So you had to be around the same age as me. So how can it be your goddaughter if, I mean, you never know, I guess. Because, you know, somebody could be your goddaughter around that time or stepdaughter around that time. But she 100%, you heard me, said that to me in the limo. So it kind of just drew me off. Yeah. Keisha said that to me like she was his goddaughter or she knew Tupac or something like that. Big facts.
And she was fronting on you after you seen her again, after the, you know, limousine situation?
Yeah, she did. And look, I gotta respect that though, you know, because how I did her at that time, at the age I was at the moment that I was in, I couldn't blame her, you know, so I respected the game because at this time, you heard me, she popping, she got the hottest song out right now, and, you know, she just felt like flexing on me. And I was cool with it. I was joked out, to be honest with you, because I ain't got a kill in the world. You know, because people do what they do. You know, here today, gone tomorrow. It'd be like that. So I ain't kill, because I was still in the building. You dig? And y'all, your manager wanted to manage me, so you dig? I ain't doing that bad in life, huh?
Is it true that Diddy mom own your publishing?
Well, Curtis and me being under 18 or making a band, even though this is not an excuse, you know. But me being under 18 on making a band, when after Katrina, when I wanted to leave Bad Boy, I asked to be released, you heard me? And I asked for my royalties and my publishing. And he basically told me, go f myself. It's cool. But I had my lawyer on it, and my lawyer told me that the publishing is not in Diddy's name or in Bad Boy. It's in Janice Combs. And Janice Combs and Diddy Kids own the publishing of Chopper Young City within the band and Bad Boy South and every other artist. Janice Combs is the owner of all that shit. You'll think it was Diddy. You think you go on a wall with Diddy with the coats and all this here and the civil suits and all this here, but you're really fighting Janice Combs. You know what I mean? And the kids. So when Justin and I have nothing to say about Lakeem Combs is because his mama was super cool. And I'm not saying that Justin mama wasn't cool, you heard me, but I was around when Kim was there, you dig? And I was a cool lady. Lakeem Combs was a tiny little boy, you know, so he have no understanding of it. But with Janice and the Justin situation, how dude came at me, even after I kept it real, You know, I kind of felt a little way like I can't wait to see this little nigga in LA so I can bat the piss out his legs. But then I think about it like, no, leave that little boy alone. But yeah, Janice Combs owns my publishing with Bad Boy South and Bad Boy. So I can never recoup that is because I was 18 and under and on making the band. I wasn't Kevin Barnes, which is my real name. I was Rodney Hill and I used somebody else's identity. So I'm not going to ever be able to recoup what I'm owed, courtesy of that. And that's facts. Sucks.
How does that make you feel knowing that his kids own your publishing?
Yes, it absolutely do. It makes me feel like I want to see them niggas, you dig? But at the end of the day, they don't know no better. I don't blame the kids for that, you know, because, you know, Diddy was doing right, you dig? He created outlets, you know, outlets for his children to eat, regardless of what happens to him. He created outlets for his kids to eat, whether it's off the backs of us, all of us. And it's not just about Chopper City. The Black Robs, you know, the Biggies, all these people, Janice Combs and the kids own all this shit. That's why the publisher says Janice Combs Publishing. Facts. You think you're going to war with Diddy, but you're going to war with his mama when it comes to that paperwork. He makes sure that you can't get nothing out of him because he put everything in everybody else's name, which is smart to me. But hey, life is life. And you live and you learn. But yeah, my publishing is Janice Combs, Diddy Mama own it. Yep. Facts. Sucks, but facts. You know, but keep it real.
Yeah, speaking of his kids, Justin Combs, how you feel about him coming out saying that she was lying about him calling you?
Okay, so I'm gonna get this clear. Justin Combs tried to make it seem like Chopper City was lying about that. Say, bro, I ain't got nothing to lie about no shit like that. You heard me? There's no reason for me to. I'm chilling, and my Tay don't feel no way. But you know, when he contacted me, it was a white girl Instagram. I mean, I picked it up. It was a white girl. Something you did. I'm like, who the f this is? And it's a FaceTime look call. So when I picked it up, it was people in the background. I could hear men and girls. You dig, laughing and kikiing and shoe showing. We're just joking. And when he got on the phone, I could tell he was a little tipsy. So like I say, I don't know if he drank or not, you heard me? But he must got the testosterone and the testicle fortitude to buff up enough to call me. You did, because the interview, you heard me, was just out. So he must had the testicle fortitude to be able to call me and get through to me. So when he say, oh, I didn't call you on my of course you didn't call me on my You called me on a white girl And then you said you don't appreciate what I'm saying about your pops. And I said, F you little nigga. F you and your pops. But I felt the way at that time, but I'm listening to him laughing, kiki and jokes and all that. And I'm like, I'm not finna be on his phone too long. I just was like, F you little nigga. You dig? It is what it is. So I don't care what Justin Combs say about what I says because I was keeping it real. You dig? And you trying to show, you dig, that Chop ain't got to lie about no shit like that. And number two, you heard me, you ain't got nothing to do with all this here. And I don't blame you because you're taking up for your fucking paw. I don't blame him. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Fuck him, though. That's how I really feel. Shout out to him, though. Curly hair little nigga. He gonna lose his hair anyway in a couple years. Then hair little nigga.
How you feel about the rumor that his kids is going around pressing people that's speaking on Diddy?
That's all facts. That's not rumors. That's facts. I'm not the only person. You dig? That's all facts. How do I feel about it? I feel no way because I know it's facts. There is no feeling about it when it's facts. That's just logic. If I was Diddy's son, I would press people too. You dig? And no matter how that sound, whether right or wrong, and how none of that matters, bruh. I would feel away. You dig? Because y'all fucking up our lives. That's how I would say it. Like, y'all see my paw back here going through the motions, AKA, like somebody should have grace and mercy for that when this man has left people to die, the Black Robs. You heard me? That man, Black Rob, was a talented brother, had a smash hit, and he died broke. The Mark Caris, or Caris, or how you pronounce that, Mark Caris and Loon. Shout out to Loon. You dig? The things that he made rappers do after the Bad Boy situation of getting f***ed over. It can't get our publishers and our royalties and our just due. You know, made motherfuckers become, you heard me, drug dealers and pimps and all types of shit and dying from diseases and all. And it's not his fault, you heard me, from how people died or the reaction or the results that transpired after that situation of getting fucked over. It's the fact that if people work hard, bruh, you heard me, they should get compensated for it. It's the non-compensational situation that results in people to do what they got to do from the reaction of his actions, of what he should take fault for. And that's how I feel about that. And that's facts. Wow. Deep down, I feel a way about that. And I'm not really I'm so unbiased, but it's just the things that transpired, the artists. You heard me? No one has won from Bad Boy. I would say probably, besides respect to him, French Montana. I would say French Montana, of all artists, even over Biggie, has won from Bad Boy over every artist. That's just my opinion. For whatever reason. And the reasons I feel is, I think French, and shout out to him, because I got the utmost respect for French Montana, yeah. I just felt like he played the game right. He played the game how it went. However the game went, I felt like he played it the right way to get where he needed to go. So however you take that, it's however you take that. But from my rapport with French Montana, bro, he always been a solid dude. But yet, he played the game right. Period. That's just how I see it. He played the game right. Obviously, we must say play the game right. Obviously. French must did what we didn't do. And shout out to him for doing whatever he did to get where he needed to go. Because I don't know what he done. You dig? But shout out to him. Because he's the only person that got out with a diamond record and, you know, doing everything he got to do. So shout out to French Montana. Maybe he looked at everybody pros and cons of what he would do and what he wouldn't do and utilize that. You know what I mean? That makes sense, bruh?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a hell of a quote you made, though. So you feel like French Montana, he got more out of Bad Boy than Big?
I do. I think Biggie got the glamour. I think Biggie got the beginnings. I don't think Biggie got what he deserved out of Bad Boy, which is one of the main reasons why Mrs. Wallace has passed and transitioned with a broken heart, because he didn't get his just due of what he deserved. Money-wise, I to this day I feel like that. And shout out to Lacease too, good person too, but I don't feel like Biggie got his just due of what he deserved for putting Bad Boy on his back, because no Biggie, no Bad Boy, and yet it's still, he didn't even get his just due financially. And I think the only person that financially gained out of Bad Boy was French Montana. Yep.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Big. But I want to ask you, right? Day 26, I was looking at the interview, and I know all the members is cool, so it had me thinking, the band, are y'all cool? Do y'all still talk?
I talk to Ness from time to time. Shout out to Ness, because once upon a time, me and Ness, we clashed about some things, but we brothers, you know, and eventually that too was gonna pass, and we cleared that out the way. And I seen him in Atlanta, Georgia, and he came to the house and we fed him steaks and all types of shit. You know, me and Ness is cool now. I talk to Dallon from time to time. Dallon has always been in his own world, who I felt like won from the band because he realized the bullshit from the beginning, with something I wish I would have did. So shout out to him, because I talk to him from time to time. Me and Fred ain't cool right now. Fred fell away. He drove because of me putting the Sarah situation out there. You dig? So Fred ain't really talking to me right now. And I tell you, when you call Fred enough, you know, and Fred is my big brother, so I can say this here. I called Fred after the Sarah situation transpired, you heard me, of me saying what I said about him fucking Sarah, because it did go exactly how that went. And I called him like 3 times, and he picked up the phone and he yelled at me, and he was like, you fucking up what I got going on, Chop, for putting it out there like that. He was like, I feel away, I'ma holler at you. And he hung up the phone on me. So, but this ain't the first time that happened with me and Fred. So I know at the end of the day, that too shall pass, and me and Fred will get cool again, because I love him to death. But, you know, when he fell away, and I let him be great. Babs, for instance, I talked to the big sis. You heard me. Babs got a situation going on. She got a documentary with the band that she want everybody to come together with. But what Babs don't realize is, I don't think we never got along like the Dig 26s, you dig, and the Danny the Canes and all these people. We never got along. It was never meant for the band to. It was meant for us to succeed at the time that we were popping. I don't think it was meant for us to move forward, and that's why things went the way it needed to go. But Babs I would say the only person that's in the band that keep us all together, when it comes down to trying to do something, but it never quite works, is because everyone has egos and feel away when it comes to each other. Sarah hate my guts, and that's okay, because I don't give a You know what I mean? Sarah hate my guts is because the documentary situation and, her line about, what Diddy done her. And mind you, I don't know in the beginning if Diddy sexually harassed her. But what I do know is when he used to come down and get her, she would look perfectly fine. The beautiful Sarah Stokes at this time, that was her name. Her name is Rivers now. But she'd come down like she rolled down a 50-foot hill. Every time, drunk, face messed up, happy, and going to sleep. You dig? So if that right there, if the truth makes you feel a way about me, all right, so be it. If you feel a way about Chop, all you're gonna say about Chop is I buku bitches. Cause I did. Cause I was young and I was dumb and I was having fun. And I feel no way about it. Just like every young nigga would have did. I was a YN. What they say, the YNs now. I was a YN. So I don't feel no way. But Sarah, I think she gonna hate me for the rest of her life. And I'm okay with that. You heard me? I'm okay with that. But that's about it. So that's my rapport with the band. And the only person that I kind of regret doing that to was Fred, because he didn't deserve that. I felt like what I was saying, mighty bruh, I felt like I wasn't saying anything wrong. Because I'm so used to talking how I talk. I'm an uptown dude. You heard me? I'm an uptown dude. We say how we feel, and it is what it is. Because I don't feel like I'm lying. You heard me? And I didn't feel like I was causing harm to Fred. I want to apologize, but I don't apologize, because at the end of the day, I didn't feel like I did nothing wrong. Was it my business to say? Maybe not, but I said it. So it is what it is. And Fred know, Chop always gonna be love, bruh. And I love him to death. But on that one, I thought I was throwing him an alley hoop. Cause everything for the Sarah, you heard me? You did it. Congrats. You did. That's how I see it. So it is what it is. I still see that to this day. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's the band situation, mighty bruh. We never get along. It is what it is. The reunion ain't gonna ever happen. So please, people, throw it out the window. Appreciate the time of the history that we made, and let it be what it be. We made TV history. You heard me? If it wasn't ever for us, it would never be no Love and Hip Hop. So appreciate the band of the history that we made, because our fights was real. So just appreciate the history that we made and let life be life. You heard me?
Out of curiosity, is Sarah mixed?
Yeah, Sarah mama is white and her pa is black.
I see. Because a lot of people in the comments were saying that she was an Asian woman.
I gotta say something about that. Number one, is she Asian well? No. Maybe it's the white side. But I felt like Sarah was the best when she didn't get the titties done and all that shit. Sarah was, to me, the baddest. I don't think that she should have enhanced her body. I thought her body was perfectly fine. And then I don't think Sarah quite aged well because of the white side. That could be true. But I think Sarah kind of aged well from the stress that she's been going through with her life. From husband to husband and all these things. And even, I want to get this clear. Her daughter felt the way about me too. And made it seem like what I was saying was a lie. I hope when Fred got on Art of Dialogue and told the truth about your mama, I hope you feel satisfied now, baby girl, because I don't feel no way about you heard me, disrespecting your mama. I was just keeping it real. You dig? And I apologize a little bit, you know, for disrespecting or maybe how I said it. But what I said was what I said. You know, your mama was starting. Period. It is what it is. Is she Asian like doggy years? Absolutely. You're right. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But why you say that though? What made you say that's why she Asian like doggy years?
Nah, I was just asking because everybody in the comments was saying she was Asian like milk. So, you know.
She do look a little crazy, huh? She look a little crazy, don't she?
Yeah, she look a little dope fiendish, you know, but hey, you know.
Yeah. And the crazy part about it, say, bruh, the rapport that I got with Sarah, she always been a person that took care of body, clean, worked out. I don't know what happened, son. It gotta be the stress from men. That's how I'm gonna look at it. Like, it gotta be, men must be stressing her out. Or maybe she just ran through too many men. I don't know, bruh, but she do look a little crazy right now. But shout out to her. Yeah.
Shout out to her, man.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
After you got shot, you ended up seeing the person who shot you in the club, right?
It was 2017, and I'm in the club. And remember I told you my dog told me that I need to go to Target and get the rabbit food? He was the same dude that knew the dude. He just didn't know that that was the guy that was coming down from Peoria, Illinois for the second time with me to get the from me. I think if he would have knew that there, he would have been like, oh no, Chop, I got you. Let me go ahead and work this wiggle. But he didn't know that it was him that, you know, that I finessed. So we in a Pink Pony here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I look over and I see the dude, you heard me? And I'm telling my dog, you heard me? I'm like, say, bruh, that's the that shot me. And he was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, him. So he was like, I know this nigga. He's like, it's a cool nigga. He said, say, bruh, let me squash this right now. So I'm like, man, f all that. I'm about to go. I'm about to go get in the car. I'm gonna wait for this nigga to come outside. And that was my mentality. Because also what happened to me, it didn't go unpunished either for what happened on the retaliation of that. But both of us was alive, and yeah, he went over there, talked to him. I'm over there shaking in my boots down there, you dig? Cause I don't know if this nigga strapped or, you know, trying to kill me, you heard me? But he come over there, and I get to walking while he walking, and then he was just like, you know, you f***ed up, bro. You know, he was like, I felt like I did what I had to do, street code wise. I felt like what you done to me, you heard me? I felt like I did right. He was like, you know, I wasn't trying to kill you, but I had to teach you a lesson. And I was like, I get it. And he basically was like, he apologized, I apologized. And right after that, I got the f about the club. Cause I was scared, you heard me? I was spooked the f out. I still thought he was trying to kill me, you did, but we squashed it. And then, you know, like I say, life don't happen like that all the time, but I'm fortunate enough for that situation to transpire the way it did. And, you know, cause I ain't got to look over my shoulder in that area when I do shows and all that there, like that. You know what I mean? Because we squashed it like men, and I was wrong. I was down bad. I shouldn't have finessed him. You dig? You know, when he was coming down, I should have told him I got what I had off, and this is what I had left, and I was being greedy. And I deserved that for that moment. And that's what kind of, you heard me, changed my life of getting the 100% out the streets, because the truth of it was, I was just chopping a rapper. I was just saying these niggas getting money out here, and I kind of wanted a piece of it, just being a follower at that moment. I thought, you know, the money that I was making wasn't enough when it was enough. You know, I was just not appreciating what I had. And a lot of times in life, when you're greedy, you heard me, that's what kind of come with that. When you being a greedy piece of shit, and I was being a greedy piece of shit, and I deserve what happened to me, you know, period. But yeah, that's what happened, facts. I seen him, and I was still scared as I got the f out of there, you heard me? But shout out to him though, because we both still alive.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the NBA player Jamal Crawford, he let you stay at his house, right, until you healed up?
All right. After I got shot, and I hit him up, and basically he was like, "Say, bro, I heard what happened." And mind you, 2 Chainz too. All the rappers was hitting me up, and the celebrities that I knew, you heard me, they always hit me up, asking me was I okay. But Jamal Crawford was like, anything that you need, let me know what's out. And him and Earl Thomas, yep. And Earl Thomas played for the Seattle Seahawks. Him and Earl Thomas, Jamal Crawford and Earl Thomas, made sure I was straight. But it was Jamal Crawford who fronted me a certain amount of money, a substantial amount of money, and cooped me up in a condo on St. Charles in New Orleans at the Georgian so I could heal up because I couldn't walk at the time. You dig? I couldn't walk at the time, and you know, my life was kind of like in a spiral at that moment. So shout out to Jamal Crawford because he definitely funded a penthouse for me at the Georgian for a whole year so I could heal up. So big shout out to him. He's definitely a legend, 100%. That's facts. I don't know how you know that, but that's facts. That's what happened. Shout out to Jamal Crawford. He did do that.
You believe in the Illuminati?
Yes. Yes, I do. And I believe that, I don't believe that you work hard to get where you're at. I believe you get chose. No matter how that sounds. You don't work hard to be successful. And I hate when people say that though. You get chose. People, you get chosen to be successful. They have their picks. No matter how it sounds, you could be the most talented person in the world. If you're not picked and selected, it's kind of like the NBA. I can imagine it's buku people that's just way more talented than other people that don't quite get the minutes and the time and got to sit on the bench because the NBA have a way of choosing who they choose to be superstars. It's kind of like that in a rap industry. And it don't come from the rap industry. It comes from the Illuminati. No matter how that sounds, the Illuminati is real, 100%. Trust me, I know. You heard me? I have been approached so many times, you dig? And that's one of the reasons of why, it took me a while to want to drop on a major, which I'm on my way to now, and I'm dropping a project called No One Cares. Right after this interview is over, you'll go hear about it a lot. But yeah, I've been approached by the Illuminati at least 3 times in my life, which makes me petrified because the things that come with that, it's humbling. It really is. It's scary. It's scary. In this game, you don't really work hard to be a superstar and successful. You get chose to. And when they choose you, you gotta do what they tell you to do. Or bad things that happen to you. And that's facts. But now, I'm just not afraid no more. You heard me? And I'm ready. I'm ready to do what I gotta do. And I feel so great right now in my life to be able to kick ass. And the things that's so tempting that'll make your process faster to get where you need to go. It's so tempting to want to accept the things that the Illuminati present to you. It's tempting, bro. It really is. And it sucks. It sucks that you really that it even took me this long to keep pumping and dropping mixtapes and doing this and doing that. For me to be able to surface back the way I'm surfacing right now, by the grace of the universe and God, that is actually going the way I need to go now. But I could have been where I was at, mighty bro, if I would have accepted what was presented to me. And I didn't. So I became whatever, the pimp guy or this guy or that guy. I was, the 6-month drug dealer. I was doing all these things because I was so afraid of what the Illuminati in the industry come with. And I'm not afraid no more. But yes, the Illuminati is real. And when they come at you, it's kind of hard to bargain the presentation that they come at you with, if that makes sense.
Can you tell me about the 3 situations where they approached you?
Okay. The first time I met a man named Robert Freed. Well, let me say that question over. I met a man named Robert. I don't want to say his last name. White dude, lives in Los Angeles, multi-millionaire guy. Family, mega rich, lived in Palos Verdes. I got presented with a situation where I was supposed to, me and Chauncey Washington, he just signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he's also the stepson of Suge Knight. Chauncey Washington, as soon as he got signed, because he played at USC, as soon as he got signed, me and Chauncey ended up becoming real tight, courtesy of Suge Knight. When he got signed and went to Jacksonville, he ended up buying this big old mansion. Actually, we was together. It was at Queens Harbor in Jacksonville. We had a plan. We gonna come with the MOE, and we gonna do it together. He had the funds. I wasn't that rich. I was a little $100,000 there, but he just signed the deal. So we had a plan. We just gonna come with the label and cut the fuck up. Well, Robert, from whatever, you dig, interfered and basically was like, I don't care what he has to offer you. This is what I have to offer you. And when he said that, it was millions of dollars. That's why I was able to have the MOE movement popping at this time all on World Stars, shooting buku videos back to back. I accepted it. And the things that came with that was so detrimental. And I wouldn't say Robert was, I don't know if he was in the Illuminati or not, but I know once he didn't do what he got a phone call, and he was the person that was invested in me. Once he didn't do what he was told to do, he went to the Playboy Mansion and got stabbed up. These are all facts. And got stabbed up. And basically, yeah, facts. And he basically, because we had MOE roster records after that, from him intercepting Chauncey Washington and presenting me with so much money. So I'm in an A, all the 12 living and the big old house I had in McDonough and all that came from Robert. You dig? From the investment of giving me upfront money. He gave me $1 million. And it was supposed to be courtesy of him intercepting Chauncey Washington. It's supposed to be, all right, I'm giving you this money right here to be able to do what you got to do, because Chauncey is procrastinating. But once he gave me the money and the funding, it went from him giving me the money to allow me to do what I got to do to now he's all around every time. Every time I all the tow buses that I had, that came from Robert, the roster record situation. I don't know, Brandon. He just was around all the time. And he always get phone calls of what to do. And then he'd tell me what I need to do. And I kind of just stopped feeling that shit, you heard me? And then we just clashed off that. That was the first situation of the Illuminati. And I went a little too far by accepting the money. And the things that happened to me after that, I had a worse era in my life from not wanting to deal with the roster records situation. The second time was here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're off the Rob situation, the roster records situation, and we was in a hotel, and we was at the co-retreat, and basically, me and my dog, Day One Zell, all of us, and my engineer, Speechless, we got presented by some girls, and they basically was like, we work for such and such and such, and then when they started Illuminati talking, me and Day One Zell, we got the you heard me? But my engineer, Speechless, he owed us no loyalty. He was just our engineer. She basically came at him with the situation. It was like, if they're not going to do it, fuck it. What's up? The next thing you know, Speechless got all these cars and mansions and became this rich ass nigga. I ain't seen him since. That was the second time. The third time was in Miami, Florida. And this was a club back then called Club Sobe. You heard me? And yeah, I got approached to the club, and, they let me kick in, and, I partied with them that night, and I seen all the celebrities from the Scott Storches and all these people, and, basically saying, you like this life, this is the life you want to live, and this is the life you need. And I was so spooked out, I left. I just left, and I act like I had something to do, and I just left. But those were the 3 experiences that I had with the Illuminati. And the Rob situation is the one that really freaked me out, is because I kind of bit the bait with that one and accepted that $1 million. And to this day, I regret it. Big facts. Big facts. So if you ever look up Chopper City, Roster Records MOE, all the tour buses on YouTube, you'll see I was being 100. You'll see all that shit.
So what were some of the things they was offering?
A lot of things. I had liquor companies with Rhythm. I don't know if you remember this. It was a liquor company called Rhythm. They had like the orange bottles. I had a sponsorship with them. I had all types of fucking investments. I'm talking about, I was popping without no deal, but they was making it seem like they was a label the whole time. I don't know. They just kept pumping me up and taking me places in different countries and I was saying gothic looking all types of wild shit, bruh. But they never, when it came down to my crew, my MOE crew, when it came down to taking me places, they never brought them with me. They always was like, you only, you dig? And basically everywhere I went with them, it was always some left field. It wasn't gay though. It wasn't like no gay shit. It was just more like introducing me into something that if I was at this moment, if I was really down with that shit, I feel like I would have blew the fuck up. But I was a little too spooked out. And I was spooked out really from what transpired with me with Bad Boy. So when people offer me things besides money at this time, cars and this and all that, when people offer me these type of things, it spooks me out because I know ain't nothing for free. I know that everything come with a price. So I was kind of spooked out from that. But if I never would have did the Bad Boy situation and they would have presented it to me, I probably would have been down with Illuminati by now. But I was too spooked out. But those are the type of things that they do. And I was afraid for a very long time, which is one of the main reasons why I didn't want to go major, because that's kind of like the thing that comes with signing a major. They offer you all these things. And I'm not saying all major labels, but some. They offer you these things, right, to flourish and buck you up and make you feel good and make you feel like, this is forever. And then they do that 360 on you, and next thing you know, you f***ed up and you want to commit suicide and kill yourself and poke your eye out and all these things. So everything I'm saying is all facts. The Illuminati is real. Be careful out there.
You and Stevie J, he made some comments about, y'all walking for the cheesecake that had you feeling the type of way, right?
I bruh. I seen it on Vlad. And I felt disrespected. You heard me? I felt like I never, you heard me, done Stevie J nothing for him to speak on us in that way. Like we was just some, you heard me? Like some peons. You heard me? One thing about City, I don't know about everybody else, but I don't play that shit. You heard me? So I'm gonna say this here. It was all fun that Diddy made us walk for a cheesecake. That's cool. That's cute. But at the end of the day in Puerto Rico, I f***ed your bitch. Now let that blow your mind. You heard me? Now let's start there. I f***ed your bitch. You dig? Let's start there. You heard me? Yeah, I f***ed your bitch. And you dig? Stop playing with me, bruh. And I don't got no malice towards Stevie J. You understand? I really don't. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna disrespect, put the band to the side. If you disrespect Chopper City, I'm gonna come by mines, period. So since you wanna play the Josin and ribbon me on Vlad about us walking for a cheesecake, let me Josin rib you about your bitch, who was your main bitch, who you was finger popping in Puerto Rico in 2003, when we was one of the hottest selling groups out at that time, besides 50. So let's start there. How you love that? Laugh and joke about that, bitch. And I still feel like Stevie J is a genius musically and R&B wise and talented. But at the end of the day, when you come at Chop gonna come back. And I have no, you heard me? I'm not talking in no gangster way. I'm not talking in no malice way, no bitter way. But you had no right, you heard me, to play with Chopper City. You can play with them. Don't play with me. I don't play. Because if you see me in person, which you have buku times, you know it can go down at any time. And I'm not even, you heard me, presenting or coming like that. But I'ma stand by me. I never claimed to be no tough nigga, no young nigga, and all that ski mask, poo shiesty, dirty clip, extendo, switching it. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna stand firm about me, and I'm gonna leave how I go. But I'm gonna play how I go as well. Stevie J don't play with me like that, bruh. Believe that. I don't want no apology or nothing. Just don't play with Chopper City. That's it. It's all gravy though. Don't play with Chopper City. Cause Chopper City ain't come at you in no way. So don't come at Chopper City in no way. But I already got even, whether you know it or not. I f***ed this bitch there in Puerto Rico. So it is what it is. I got even without even knowing I got even. Let that blow your mind.
Who was the girl?
All you gotta do is do your history. 2003, who was Stevie J girl? Y'all look that up. Let that blow your mind.
Let me ask you this then. Was she a female rapper?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. I got a couple on my resume, but at the end of the day, that was never gonna be out there. You dig? If Stevie J ain't play with me like that. You ain't got one up on me, playboy. I got one up on you. Don't play with Chopper City. Be cool. Cause if you see me, you're gonna have to stand on it.
Respectfully, you don't have to mention her name, but how did that come about? You and her messing around? Like, what's the backstory?
Oh, real simple. At this time, 50 was like the hottest guy out, right? And at this hip hop summit, they used to have hip hop summits. And they had a hip hop summit in 2003. And at this time, the band is like, besides Outkast, Speaker Box, and Love Below, we was the number one, number two artist that was the most selling and popping until 50 came and just killed shit. You heard me? Shout out to 50. But Saint Lunatics, I'm on this, like all the hip hop people, no matter who you are, no matter who you are. We had hip hop summits in the Bahamas with the Tricks, and everybody is in like one whole hotel, and it's like a resort. You heard me? And everybody just all go to one place to perform for the fans. And at this time, I'm on a bus, like this hip hop bus. It's all facts with the Saint Lunatics, Nelly and the Saint Lunatics, the Murphy Lees and the Ali's and all of them there. And I'm over there with a little bit, and I'm like, it's like, man, this nigga Chop crazy. Well, the funny part about it is, I had a little Puerto Rican chick with me, you dig, and I go into the hotel, and I told her that I said, I'm gonna come back down and come get you. But I've been spotting the girl the whole time. I've been had a crush on her the whole time, you dig, and she stayed like right down the hall from me. Well, basically, I was supposed to go back down to go get her, you dig. I just wanted to make sure nobody was in the room. I was supposed to go down to get the Puerto Rican girl, but I ended up seeing the female, coming out her room. I knocked on her. I didn't knock on the door. I walked past her, and she was by the door. And basically, I was like, "Can I eat your pussy?" I just straight said it. Oh, I was wild back then. I was reckless. I was just like, "Can I eat your pussy?" And she was like, "Boy, what?" And I was like, "Damn, can I eat your pussy? I just want to eat your pussy. I've been a fan of you for a long time." You heard me? And she was just like, "What?" I was like, "Can I eat your pussy or no?" And she was like, "Boy, stop." And then she opened the door. We kicked it. She let me eat her pussy. You heard me? I tried to pause, but this ain't no pause. I tried to, while I was eating her pussy, I put on my pants. I popped my dick out. You heard me? And I low-key try to, like, bro, like when you hear me eat a bit of pussy, you try to creep up on it with the dick. You low-key try to pop it in her, you heard me? And she was like, "Hell no, get a condom." In my mind, you heard me? I'm thinking she was finna say, "Hell no, what is you doing?" She said, "Get a condom." You dig? And I had like an old condom in my wallet, you dig? And that bitch was like balled up like this and shit. And I put that bitch on. I hit her for like 2.3 seconds because she was like, "That's enough." And I hit it, and then shit, I walked out, and I was the happiest guy in the world. So that's exactly how that went. Facts. I was wild back then. Like, if you know the Chopper, you heard me from back then, I was wild. I really was, son. I was cutting up, and I was fucking everything. Everything bad, all the little rap chicks, the R&B chicks, you name them. I was trying to get in where I fit in. So shout out to little Chris Brown, because he got it from me. Facts. He got that sauce from me. You heard me? Because, look, for real, Chris Brown used to be on tour with me, and all I used to do, dog, is smack chicks, knock them down. And Chris Brown, at this time, he was a young dude, so he used to look at that shit and want to do the same thing, you dig? And then, he just started doing that too. I don't know how he is now, but yeah, he'll let you know. Chopper was his guy on the road, because Chopper was straight rock star status. So yeah, that's all facts though. That's definitely what happened. I tried to eat her pussy. She was playing with me at first. She let me eat her pussy, try to pop it in her. She said, "Get a condom." I thought she was just gonna say, "No, get the fuck out. I feel uncomfortable." She didn't do that, because she she kind of was digging me anyway. But I hit it for like, honestly, like 2 minutes. Then she was like, that's enough. Go ahead. And that was it. So shout out to Stevie J for that.
Have you seen this Kirk Burrows lawsuit that he got against Puffy?
Yes, I have. It's a big show, huh, bruh?
Yeah, this lawsuit is wild. Respectfully, before I read it, I want to give you a warning. Me and you being heterosexual, man, I don't want to make you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate. Pause.
Definitely pause, man. But looking at this lawsuit, he alleging that Puffy will make him give him blowjobs and hand jobs.
Okay, I'm listening. Anything else?
Yeah, he even alleging, looking at this lawsuit, that Puffy will make him put objects up to him.
Wow. All right, before I give you the answer, the dude Kirk was definitely a valid dude over at Bad Boy. And mind you, I think him and Diddy, Bad Boy was both of theirs. So I don't understand how he go from part owner with Diddy, with Bad Boy, to becoming a vice president. That kind of me up because I think they started Bad Boy together. Am I correct?
Yeah, he was a part owner of Bad Boy, but Puffy made him give up his percentage.
Okay, well, I'm going to say this here because this is the best answer. And, I don't know if Kirk is from the Kirk that I encountered with the Bad Boy. He always been like a valid dude, So I don't know if it's his truth or I don't know. But I will say this here on that type of topic. And this is the honest to God truth, you heard me? One of the producers over there at MTV at the time, who was super cool guy. He actually had the camera walking with us, you heard me, to Brooklyn to get the cheesecake. The first Art Dialogue interview, you heard me, that I did, he DM'd me and I definitely talked to him. He was like, yeah, bruh, how you been, Chop? I'm like, I'm straight, bruh. Appreciate you hitting me. Long time. He like, yeah, bruh. I appreciate your interview, you heard me, that you did on Art of Dialogue. I said, thank you. I appreciate you, bruh. And he was like, you ever notice why I was shooting with y'all and then all of a sudden you haven't seen me after that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, why is that? He said, because one time Diddy invited me to his office and told me to suck his dick. And he was like, he said, I damn near wanted to kill him, bro. He was like, I left the office and I quit. And so it don't, with the curse situation, it don't sound far-fetched from what I've heard. You dig? I haven't ever encountered that type of situation with Diddy. Thank you, universe, because I would be in jail right now, facing life or doing life. But I haven't encountered that.
Now, I've been quiet for a long time, but I gotta say something. Dude, come on now. It's too many people are saying the same thing about Diddy. Hey, if there's smoke, there's fire. There's too many people saying the same thing. That's all I want to say. That's
type
crazy.
Of Diddy, you dig, but
the cameraman,
I don't know, bro.
Come on now, the cameraman.
If it walk like a duck and talk like a duck, obviously, it might be a duck. It might be true, bro. That is considered sexual harassment, Sarah. I think that's considered sexual harassment, not what Sarah tried to do. You dig? So with the Kirk situation, I don't know. It just don't sound far-fetched, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. I haven't experienced that with Diddy, so I can't, I can't be like the people that exaggerate and say things that's not true. All I can say is 100 things from my experience. And my results for that answer is it don't sound far-fetched. And Kirk, of all people, have the most. So when people say, oh, Chop, you talking down on Diddy, I'm not talking about nothing that ain't on public records or through the experience that I experienced. You understand? So with the Kirk situation, you heard me, that might be a tricky one, is because he is pretty valid. He's pretty valid with the valid, huh? That's the way you pronounce that. Pretty valid with kind of valid with the stories that he have with it, is because he was there. So I don't know. That's pretty fucked up. He might win his case. I don't know, might say, bro. He might win his case, bro. He might win his case. And I don't want to say his name because I have the utmost respect for him, but I don't believe the case that got put on Harv Pierre. I 100% don't believe that's true because Harv Pierre do not get down like that. When I seen that he was facing a charge as well. I don't think that's true, and I think people are just drawing cases on them people. But with the Kirk situation, I don't think that's being drawn on him. I think that might be valid. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you saying that somebody you know at Bad Boy told you that Diddy pretty much told him that he had to give him fellatio or
brother. I didn't say at Bad Boy. I said at MTV. I said
MTV.
one of the producers at that lets you know right there that went different. I didn't say Bad Boy. That lets you know that that's a different ball game. You heard me? I said MTV producer hit me and said that Diddy invited him to the office and told him to suck his dick. That is facts. That is facts. And he told me to say it. Yeah, so I don't know, bro. I don't know. I have another. I got a question for you. From what you hear and what's going on right now, I don't think all the charges against Diddy is going to stick, my opinion, because the Me Too movement is substantial. But do you think Diddy is coming home? Do you think Diddy is going to beat it? Do you think Diddy is he's going to succeed with coming home? Courtesy of just what you hear and what you think.
Man, that's tough, man. I mean, he gonna do some kind of time, man. I mean, if you got Cassie testifying against you, that's hard to beat, man. So,
you know what charge? I respect that, brother. The charge I don't think he's going to beat is the Cassie situation. All the rest of them, he might beat that. You dig? But the Cassie situation, that's going to be a tough one. You dig? It's because she's going to be practically a star witness. All the gay stuff, and this is not to speak on the gays, but all that talk, you heard me? I think he's going to beat that because I don't think it's a crime of your sexuality, of what you prefer. I don't think that's a crime. It has nothing to do with me, you know, but I don't think that's a crime. I don't think that that's going to stick. Like, oh, Diddy's gay. Like, that's not a crime. You dig? Like, what's you dig? He has a preference. It shouldn't be a charge with a preference. I just don't think so. I think the Cassie situation is the main situation of what he's going to be fighting at the end of the day. And that's just my opinion. And I think if he get time, which I hope he don't, because I don't want to see no man back there, because once upon a time I was back there for things that I didn't do. I just feel like I hope he don't get time because the man is still a man and it's stressful back there. And I hope he come home and change his life and treat people right. That's what I hope, and do right by people. But if he does get time, it will be from Cassie. I don't think it'll be from anything else. And that's just my opinion. So out of this whole situation, who won? Cassie. Cassie got all that money and still about to be a star witness to testify against this man. Cold-blooded. Out of all the things you've done in life, the person that has the power to take you down, ironically, happens to be an artist you once signed. And courtesy you being lustful, you dig? You kind of put yourself in a situation to allow yourself emotionally, or whatever per se you want to put it, to allow someone to take your empire down. One more question. Do you think his reputation is tarnished?
Oh, that's over. Yeah, that's done.
Wow. So you think it's no get back, it's no redemption, it's just nothing. It's over.
It's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap.
Oh my God. Oh my God. To be honest with you, bro, I never would have thought Diddy got down like that. Never in a million years of my life. I thought Diddy was like this. Take that shiny suit, hit maker. I never thought encountering this situation. Sometimes I wish I haven't ever did the Making the Band situation. It's because at times it kind of like the shenanigans kind of overrides the talent. And I'm still out here. I'm still looking, I'm still out here. I'm still looking great, still doing my thing, highly respected. And I respect everyone. But sometimes I regret ever doing the making the band because I feel like by now I would have already been where I needed to be. And it's never too late. And one thing about me, I'm a hustler. So I'm always, you hear me, get to it and do what I got to do because I'm always going to keep going and I'm never going to quit. But sometimes I feel like the shenanigans with that making the band situation kind of overrides my talent. And just to see Diddy going through this shit is just like, say, bro, it kind of sucks to even say that I was even down with Bad Boy. It's damn near kind of like a look on people's faces, bro. Yeah, bro, and it sucks. But at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. And I'm not saying Diddy is guilty or not guilty, mighty bro, but I will say, a bunch of people keep saying the same thing about you. Something of that has to be true. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, and I'm not ashamed of anything I went through with them because I'm not gonna sit up here and say all the times was bad. I had great times over there. I made history in the era that I was in, definitely TV history. I've always been chopper sitting, always been doing my thing. So I don't feel, and I learned a lot, being under 18 over there. I learned a lot over there. So I appreciate every bit of the moments of what I've learned because he turned me into a juggernaut in the studio. He showed me how to hustle and he showed me how to win in life of surviving as an artist. So I guess it's like a bittersweet situation. And that's why deep down, I don't feel like I'm drawing him under the bus, but yet and still, the bus have to run over a leg or two. It's because you allow a million buses to run over me. And regardless of how that sounds, you didn't have grace or mercy for me and mine. So it's like, how can I have grace and mercy for you and yours? It just sucks, and I'm such a good-hearted person that even though you done me and all these people dirty, I still don't have the malice in my heart to wish the worst for him, and it sucks. It really does. And I wish him the best. And what they say, free Diddy. But I also want to say this too. The Kanye situation with Diddy, that kind of made me feel a little weird. Is because maybe Kanye, I look at it like an idolizing situation when I see him on the phone with Diddy and Diddy like, you're the only family I got. That's cap. You understand? But yeah, Kanye idolized Diddy, and I respect that. But once upon a time, on Making the Band, Kanye, you pulled up at the house. You pulled up at the house on Making the Band on 4th and Charles, and you tried to come in the house, and the Mr. Bentleys denied you to come in before he later in life was on your dick and rocking with you, and Diddy denied you to come into the house. You dig? But yet and still, you over here making it seem like y'all like the best of friends when the real truth of it is he didn't give no fucks about you either. And life is just funny to me of just how it goes. But shout out to Kanye because I respect him as an artist, and I think the propaganda things that he do is pretty genius because a lot of people think he's crazy, but I don't think he's crazy. I think he's marketing. He at the end of the day, he don't care about the reaction of what people say as long as they're reacting. And I think that's genius. I think it's a little crazy and shenanigan and UFO-y, you heard me, but it's still genius. But he's
Damn, you said Puff was treating Kanye like trash?
Yeah, told him he couldn't come in the house because Kanye was he popped up at the house. This the Kanye that wore the polo and the Jesus chains, you dig? And he popped up at the house, and I walked outside, and a couple other people walked outside, and he was trying to come in and play his beats. But Mr. Bentley, no, Diddy told Mr. Bentley that nigga can't come in. And Mr. Bentley came outside and was like, yeah, at this moment, we're not really allowing nobody to come in and play beats and all that. And Kanye left. So to see all these decades later, to see Diddy say, you're the only family I got, bullshit. That's bullshit, But hey, be great. But Diddy is full of shit. And Kanye idolized him so much that he believed that fucking foolishness. Kanye, that man don't got no love for none of us. He don't give no fucks about none of us. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. He don't have no love for nobody. Diddy love him and his. And deep down, Can you blame him? You dig? You know, maybe Diddy ain't coming to this game to really have love for none of us. Diddy has always won in this game. He always won. So that's why it's diabolical, you heard me, and uncomfortable to all our eyes to see this man in jail, federally at that. It's because we never would have thought Diddy, of all people, would have been in this situation. But it's funny how life changed. It's funny how times change. It's funny how the table turned. And it's bittersweet because deep down, I don't want to see no man in jail going through this because I just went through this in 2022 and they try to ship me up the road. So I know how I feel to be back there treated like shit, especially when you are popular or a celebrity. They treat you like shit the most. They put you in 23-hour lockdown and all day. You know, it sucks that you got to be in that bitch reading books you don't want to read, novels and all this shit. It sucks, you know, that you get 30 minutes to take a shower and 30 minutes to make a phone call to whoever you need to. It sucks. So I never want to witness that, encounter that, or have anybody going through that. So I don't wish that on nobody, jail. But the humble pie that he's eating right now, I think he need to, I think I smile when he's eating that motherfucker. You know, it sucks, but the shit that I went through in life, that this man has put me through, and all of us through, you know, he kind of fucking deserve it. Period. And when it come down to it, I want to say I got love for him because he saved me and got me out the ghetto when Master P and Baby and nobody paid me no attention. And I got up off my ass and got on them Greyhounds and figured it out. And he gave me the chance, which is why I have the utmost respect and love for him. But also it's fuck him. Because he didn't have no love for me. Period. So it's just a bittersweet situation. And on that note, good luck to him. And I wish his family the best. And shout out to them. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I was going to just cut it like everybody else started doing, man. But first of all, shout out to my enders. If you're an ender, meaning you made it to the end of this video, shout out to you, number one. Number two is my family is here from the Philippines, y'all, and they are waiting for me to finish this. My sister is here because they all went somewhere and everything. So now we're ready to go out and get something to eat or do some type of party stuff. But Chopper is real. Chopper is past with real, man. And he's like me, man. I try to be happy and positive with everybody. Whatever you do, that's your thing you do. If you gay or whatever, that's your thing. Don't push your thing on me, I won't push my thing on you. But at the same time, don't do anything wrong around me to other people. I don't like that. I don't like to see other people hurt. Now, if they want to be bullied, that's something different. If they want to get beat up because they think they can fight, that's something different. But don't take advantage of other people around me. I don't like that. And you're going to know that I don't like it. Period. So shout out to Chopper, man. I learned a lot on this long interview, man. The art of dialogue. Shout out to you too, man. This dude right here is cool. So I tried something different, y'all. It was quiet the whole time because they was back there making noise. So I just cut the mic off completely. But hey, let me know if you're an ender. Hey, check this out, man. As soon as I get off of here, we're going to be working on the World's Largest Rap Contest. And we're going to start a contest with you just building your profile. For some reason, we need everybody to build their profile. They won't even upload. They want me to help you promote, but you won't even upload a picture of yourself. Come on, man. I can't promote nothing. Give me something to promote. Get in touch with me. Leave me a message. The World's Largest Rap Contest.com. Check out the World's Largest Rap Contest.com. That's my website that I built with. I don't know why y'all can't learn the website real quick and get in touch with me and let's do some music. Y'all take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.